Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, welcome to the Commonwealth cabin. You know, every once in a while I bring up a topic I know is going to make people angry, and this is one of those days, but I think I'm going to talk about it anyways if Pepper will let me. Pepper wants in this cabin, boy. She's been wanting in here. Sophie's been wanting to be close to me because that new puppy up there has got them all feeling jealous. All right, might as well let her in now. Back to the topic for just a second. Actually, we're going to do a bunch of sales, then we're going to get to that topic after about 4 sales. I think this is really important. I think this is something that a lot of eBay resellers don't want to hear. But at the same time, I think if everybody's honest, they know that change is coming. Change is always coming. And I want to talk about it maybe in a different way than people normally talk about it, but a lot of cool sales. Let's take a look. Marilyn, I blame you for giving us all these cat treats in here. All right, this sold. It's been sitting up here for a while. This is not the typical thing that you would find me buying here. It's this like little potted, I guess, a little thing for a plant. And it is kind of neat. It did kind of stand out to me on a table. The reason I even looked at something like this, if I'm honest, is because there was only 2 sales on our radar at all that day. And I'm like, well, might as well dig at this one because there's not much to go to. Let me see if I can remember. Relpo, Chicago, made in Japan. Can y'all see that? Relpo, the sticker, but then underneath it, there's a mark on it. And that one right there, you like that, Pepper? Sold for, I don't remember what I paid for it. A few bucks. And that one right there sold for $25 plus shipping. And there's a little bit of a track record for these sales. I thought I would sell in the spring, but you know what? I'll take it now. I've got this black cat following me around here. I've got a ladder back here that I almost walked under just a second ago to get to where I needed to. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go the other way. There's too many things. A video that might not make people happy, and then a black cat and a ladder. I'm like, yeah, I won't take my chances. And the Florida bin right here. Yep, there it is. I bought this one at that plush sale, y'all. Do you remember that one? That was crazy. $300 plush sale. Stinky Winky, Rushton, Rubberface, Skunk. That was an awesome sale. And I bought a bunch of these there. They don't sell for much. Actually, maybe I didn't get this there. Anyway, this one sold for $9. This is plus shipping. This is a lawn chair webbing replacement. Boy, Pepper, you better consider yourself lucky you're down here and not with that mean old little puppy upstairs. One more pretty cool item here in John Cincinnati Picker's drawer. And then a couple of items that are going to be relevant to the topic at hand today. All right, this one right here. Look at this mini dish set. And it has all this cool stuff here. Maybe I'll, well, hold on a minute. When I picked this up, I wasn't sure how much it'd sell for. That's kind of the one thing I get yelled at on my picker videos all the time, because they're like, oh, you know, you bought this and whatever. I think, look, I've been picking a long time, y'all, but I don't know what everything's worth all the time. And so sometimes you just buy and you come home and you're like, man, it's worth a lot more than you thought. Well, sometimes it's not. I thought maybe this would be worth a little bit more than it is. There's no lids on some of these and whatever, but they're pretty cool regardless. And it sold for $20 plus shipping. It's not as good as coming home and finding the thing worth, you know, 50 times what you thought it was worth, but I'll take it. And it's a cool little cornflower plastic in Hong Kong. Pretty darn cool. I like it. $20 plus shipping. I'm going to show you 2 more items that sold, but we're going to kind of use these as examples of some of what I want to talk about. Now, I've talked about some of what I'm going to talk about before, and some of it I've never talked about at all, but I want to kind of make people think a little different. Get them out of their comfort zone just for a minute, but I'm not trying to shock anybody. This isn't, you know, crazy hyperbole here. This isn't the sky is falling. Most of what I'm talking about is not going to affect most of us like tomorrow or the next day or the next month or even the next year, but it is definitely worth paying attention to as the days go forward. This sale right here is one we've been taught, well, these posters here, Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, they're Disney posters. By, what's the guy's name here? I don't have it on this one. It's Carl something. I spelled it wrong and a viewer told me I spelled it wrong, so I got to change it in the listing. Hopefully by the time you see this, I'll have changed it. And those 2 posters sold for hold on a minute, $29 plus shipping. And then the Taz, we'll put that one over here. The Taz sold for book keychain, sold for $11.95. Now this went to a Linda. There's no message on the purchase. Wannabe Picker, I like the name. I'm assuming you're a viewer, Linda. Thank you very, very much for that. I do appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy both the poster over here and the keychain over here. And it's they're both headed your way. These, can I? Yeah, I can probably package these together. I still haven't showed you how I'm packaging up these posters, and I think I can fit them both together. I guess I could have showed you this one right here. And you'll notice a couple things. Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers, right there. It's got the barcode on the back. That's some for 12 bucks, $11.95. I have a tendency to ramble when I talk about things like this, so I'm going to try to keep it pretty narrow in scope. But let me just say that I want to start by saying that eBay is constantly changing and will continue to constantly change. And I can, I'm trying to look 5-10 years into the future here. And so I'm probably going to be wrong about a lot of stuff. And a lot of people are going to be, they've already got a mindset about how things are. And most people don't want to naturally change. That's human nature. We're not comfortable with a lot of change. However, I'm pretty certain that the younger generations are far more comfortable with change than I am. They're used to it. Their one continuity in life is constant change. And I think we're looking, at this kind of reselling right here being a little different in the future. This type of reselling will always exist with physical items that people look back at and it reminds them of their childhood. But when I look at my kids, they don't have nearly as many toys as I did. Not even close. I was playing with toys to an older age than they were. Now, I was also outside playing a lot more than this younger generation does here as well. But, there's a reason Toys R Us went out of business, y'all. And the biggest reason Toys R Us went out of business is actually this right here, right? Kids don't play as much as they used to because they're playing on their phone, right? They're playing different games, board games and whatever. There's a huge spike in board games during the pandemic. But really, board games, I used to play board games all the time when I was a kid. We still do with our kids, but it's not nearly as much as I used to do it. These type of toys for Turner will still exist. There were toys that he played with that he'll want to play with or have when he's older, like this. Same thing with Reagan. But a lot of it will be digital stimulus, and increasingly things that they collect will be digital. Now, I'm not going to go down the whole NFT route. I have talked about that before. I really want to talk more and more about something that's slightly different than that. Now, let's take this item right here, and we're going to take one of these posters back here that I'm not going to fully take apart, but I'm not even going to mess with them, to be honest with you. I'm just going to put them on the screen. We're going to take these two things and look at how money is made today versus how money used to be made. All these things used to be cartoons, right? And Disney and those comic type cartoons and the actual cartoons and Warner Brothers. And then they would sell merchandise from them. And you still see that typical practice today. However, there is a lot of money being made on the content. The content is where the money is for these companies. This is ancillary money right here, and it's a one and done type of money, right? They sell this and now it's gone. They've made their money on it. Now I own it, or whoever owns it, and then I can resell it. We've talked about that principle before. They're only going to make money on this one time, but they're going to make money on these Taz cartoons forever, year after year after year after year. So that model is much more preferable. Same thing with these posters back there. When they're sold on eBay, you know who makes money on those Disney posters back there on when they're sold on eBay? I make money on those posters. eBay makes money on those posters. SupplyHut makes money on those posters because I use their box. The company that makes these stickers and stuff for me, they make money because I throw them in every box. Rollo makes money on that. FedEx or UPS or the post office, they make money on that. Who doesn't make money on that? Disney doesn't make money on that. And the artist, Carl Barks, is that his name? I think that's the name that I was trying to come up with. He doesn't make any money. Well, he's long since passed, I'm sure, but his family or his estate, they don't make money on that. And there's where there's a little bit of a change, where companies are actively seeking out ways to make digital imprints and to sell digital products, which you've seen it with DVDs, you've seen it with 8 tracks, you've seen it with records, all that stuff. Well, the artist makes a lot less money up front, but they make money in perpetuity on the rights to it. Now, you might think I'm already wandering a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that this type of reselling is going away. It's not. It's not ever going to go away. Ever. It's always going to be here because the physical attachment to items is a human experience, but we also have digital attachments to music, for instance. I love listening to cassettes. I love listening to CDs. I don't usually listen to records, to be honest, but I love the record artwork. But the convenience of digital media has completely changed the market. Harder and harder to sell non-digital media, and I think you're going to continue to see that. Is there going to be a possible reselling market for digital products? The answer is yes, there absolutely will be. I don't know if it'll be on eBay, but there will be a reseller market for digital items. And here's the kicker, y'all. The original owners of digital media, right? Digital meaning, I know a compact disc, whatever. But I'm talking about purely digital media. Pepper's like, come on. She's like, where's my take here? Where's my percent? They want to cut. Right? I've talked about this before. Disney doesn't want you to sell their second, third, fourth hand stuff because it makes it harder for them to sell their original merchandise. Now, the law, thank goodness, is on our side, but that doesn't mean that those companies aren't going to try to figure out ways to either sell things that can be copyrighted, that can't be resold, like digital movies and things like that, or it can be a hybrid of both. Imagine a system where Warner Brothers gets paid, 1% of that sale on eBay, or the artist gets 1%, Disney gets 1%, and I get, whatever my cut is. Now, we're not there yet for sure, but I think digitally speaking, we're going to be there. And I think it's something we should look at. Digital collectibles, people are already doing, digital cards and things like that. I've talked about NFTs before. I actually own, I don't talk about this often, but I own a VFriends, which, I don't want to get into that too much. But that is essentially it's a digital character. And the owner of that character, if I were to resell it, which I've already resold one, if I was to resell it, the owner of that character gets a percentage of that. So imagine digital music being bought and then the owner selling that digital media to somebody else and the original creator getting a cut. So that will be a part, I think, I'm pretty certain, I don't know when, maybe 5 years, maybe 20 years, but I think it will be eventually embedded into our system. I know I've lost some of you and I've probably angered some of you. That's not the intention at all. I hate change. This isn't me. This is really an encouragement to take tiny little steps because there is slow incremental change. So I'm going to talk about maybe a small step that some people can take in the direction of staying ahead of the curve as a reseller. If you've noticed, I've started to put a QR code up. We've talked about QR codes. Joel, American Bubble Boys, putting bubble bucks. Look, by the way, it says scan the QR code for 250 extra bubble bucks. That's $2.50 off your first order. So if you haven't ordered from American Bubble Boy before, you can get $2.50 off. So that is a minor change that you're starting to see absolutely everywhere. Now, it's been around for a few years, but you're seeing it everywhere. Check this out. These folks sent me a very nice gift. They know I love VHS, especially seal VHS. Check that out. Now, neither one of these is worth a fortune, but I just love it. And especially this because they didn't, not all the Harry Potter movies came out in VHS. Matter of fact, I don't know how many did, maybe one. But look at this, y'all. Look at what they do. Here's a nice little message that gets put in there. Please accept these gifts as a sign of our gratitude. What a wonderful family you have. Thank you. I appreciate that. You have been a great inspiration to us. We have learned so much. May you have a Merry Christmas. Thank you, Neil and Beth. But that's not why I'm showing you this. This is why I'm showing you this right here. First of all, they say they love the history lessons, and I'm not going to give you one today. They sent me a couple history things. Lady Fatima, If you've ever seen that one, oh, that's a different one. St. John. There's Fatima right there, which I've given a history lesson on that one before. I don't think I will this time. Will Rogers. I'll give you he was born Cherokee Nation, y'all. Did you know that? And I'm confused here because I thought y'all were from Texas. Yeah, Texas. But isn't he Oklahoma? Maybe this is just one of the postcards, that Series 5 postcard 2022. Funky Town Collective. But look what they have here, y'all. First of all, this is really cool to send out to all your buyers. Now you can have subscribers, people who follow your eBay store. Here is a QR code to their eBay store, a QR code to their Poshmark store, which, by the way, now I have on video, so you could scan that. I didn't intend that, but there you go. PS on Poshmark, new app users get $10 Posh credit when using code Funky Collective during sign up. Really nice message. How about that? Now, I've said before, when I run out of my cards, and we bought like 5,000 because I'm super cheap. I'm like, if I'm going to buy them, I'm going to buy them in bulk so I can get them like half price. That's usually what I do with boxes. Like, I'm not buying 100, I'm buying 500. It's a lot cheaper that way. At any rate, I get these, next time we get these cards, instead of having a blank thank you for your purchase and follow us on YouTube, I'm going to put my link tree in there, or I'm going to put my eBay store in there, or wherever, you know, they got Poshmark on theirs. I would say probably a link tree is maybe even better, because you can do things like I've talked about, have an affiliate link and whatever. You might be like, nobody follows me or whatever. Okay, well, get the EPN link anyways and say, hey, if you're with your family, you scan it, you go through the link, and you get a kickback. The world is changing. You know, when I was a kid, that TV over there was a TV, and you had to be in front of it on Thursday night at 8 o'clock to watch this show, or on Monday night at this time to watch this show, and most of the advertisement went there. It went on a billboard, but the world is very, very different. Your phone, social media, you know, even if you have 100 people that follow you, that's 100 people. You know, try and make it 110, for instance, but it's still people. There are all kinds of ways to sell things. We've talked about it. I talked about the Daily Cabbage. I noticed that she has a store now, a Shopify store linked to her Instagram. So she is talking constantly about Cabbage Patch Kids, and she's linked a store to there. She can sell directly on there. It eliminates a step of sending people even to her eBay store. Now, I'm going to try to keep talking about this while I pull. I'm going to get a Firebird keychain. I don't know, I think it's this one. It might be the Trans Am. I'll have to look. Just a minute. Yeah, it is the Trans Am. So I'm not saying this is for everybody, but this is something simple. If you already put a card in or do something, you know, next time you get it, put a QR code in. Ask people to follow your store. If you sell the same type of item, maybe you're into vintage car parts or something, so you have an Instagram account or something that only talks about that. Maybe you sell 4 or 5 different types of products, and they're all kind of cool and they're all kind of collectible, and you can start different personas, different accounts that you can gain followings. Because if you have 300 people that follow you that are into, say, Trans Ams, and you have 80 products that relate to Trans Ams, you can sell to those small amount of people fairly regularly if you do it right. Sold a Scooby keychain as well. And you know what? You can use your personal accounts to link stuff as well. Hey, you know, here's my eBay store, you know, come shop at Christmas. What the heck? We've been doing it on the Trash Cash podcast group. We've had a section. I can't do this with one hand, y'all. Maybe I can. Where people are dropping those in there. And, you know, if you have that stuff ready, if it's an EPN link, you might make a little bit of money. I'm not saying it's the answer for everybody, but I'm saying it is the answer for some people. And to make these little strides, maybe you put a sticker in there, right? So maybe the sticker has a QR code somewhere in the bottom of it. I don't know. Maybe this sticker is a QR code. So that if you sell a replenishable product, and I buy all kinds of those. I mean, just looking over here, I buy this type of stuff all the time. If I have a sticker with a QR code or something from that store and I've had a good experience, I might put it right here and come back and say, all right, it's time to buy X again, and I might scan it. So if you sell a replenishable product, you want people to follow your store, you want people to save your store, and if it's a QR code with your phone, it's super easy to just jump on there if you've had a good experience like this. I mean, who wouldn't want to buy from them again after all that, right? I'm assuming that's what you put in everybody's, you know, nice little message or something. I don't even do all that stuff. So I think it's a good practice. Donna bought this, says, enjoy watching all your channels. I'm a reseller on eBay myself. Took a break for the holidays. Enjoy what you do with the charities. That is so awesome. And you and your family. My daughter is into Scooby-Doo. So this is going to be a great stocking stuffer. I hope you and your family have a wonderful Christmas. Donna, thank you. I appreciate it. Maybe you're a vendor of some kind. I think of people like this I've seen out lately where they're setting up their booths. This is a 31, you know. I'm sure you've seen 31 booths out there before. This sold for $15 plus shipping, by the way. It's a little, I don't know what you want to call it, storage basket. And I've seen people put up QR codes at their little booths. I've seen people at the antique booth that I sell in, and they have a little QR code set up right there in their antique booth that links you to either a website that they sell on or eBay or whatever. You know, I know a few people who only sell golf items. And if you have a good experience, maybe something wasn't quite right and that person returned it for you on the eBay store because you weren't quite comfortable with it, that's a great experience. If there's a QR code, you know what? I'll be like, I might want to buy from that person again because I know they're going to treat me right. And, you know, build your business. This happens to be a hat. So if you're selling used golf things, maybe they keep coming back for more with you because they trust you. Build your reputation, build your brand. Even as a eBay seller, you can build your brand in many, many ways. Ask people to follow your store and put your information out there. This one sold for $12 plus shipping. And it sold to a viewer. You said so many nice things here, by the way, in this message. And Merry Christmas to you as well. But I can't read it all. It's just too nice. I always hate to read this stuff. Makes me sad. Anyway, if somebody else was reading it, I'd be blushing. So there you go. Jeremy and Dawn Gerdes, I think is the last name. JD's Dakota Treasures. Give your store a name, for goodness sake. And that's a name I like. JD's Treasures. Dakota Treasures. Very good. This sold right here. Tupperware. See, I could have a Tupperware Instagram page and talk about nothing but Tupperware. And people would follow it. You know, maybe not a lot, but people would follow it. And that right there, of course, goes on a turkey. It's got that kind of tint to it. Needs really clean, but that one right there sold for $13, y'all. $12.99 free ship. So take that little crazy example of Tupperware, and I guarantee you, if you look it up, there's Tupperware out there. I follow wrestling pages from the 80s and stuff, and those people are selling things because of their following, you know, vintage wrestling items, you know, that they come across. They have stores, and, you know, I just love that stuff. There's VHS people who sell their VHS on Instagram, Facebook groups. There's different ways to do it, or you just use those to push traffic to your store. Now, you don't want to do what I see a lot of people do in these groups that aren't intended to do that. You don't always want to push your stuff. You want to follow the rules. But there's the right way to do it, and most people are used to it in today's kind of social media economy. Sold to Wonder Years. Love this right here. Picked this one up at a sale. It's been quite a while at this point, so it's sat for a while. But it finally sold. It would have probably, I put it right at market value even though the condition wasn't great. I probably should have dropped another $1. I mean, only paid $1. Sold for $13 plus shipping. Old Winnie Cooper right there. Pretty good. That one went to Jan, I think is the name. Michigan Thrifter. There you go. Hi, Kevin. My name is Jan. There you go. I should have read that first. Sounds like Jan. I watch the Picker and Flipper channels. Enjoy watching your videos. I sold back in 2011, 2012, and recently got back into it. Michigan _ Thrifter. I'd love an autograph and possibly some bubble bucks. So we can handle that for you. Thanks. You know, I see stores that sell only vintage action figures. I see stores that only sell salt and pepper shakers. I see Instagram accounts that only focus on minor things. You've heard me talk about, well, Chernock's Connection. He does vintage clothing, but he does other things. I'm not saying you have to niche down and only sell one thing. What I'm saying is maybe you can focus on one thing for social media. Sell everything if you want to. But just focus on one thing for social media to drive people to that one thing. Or you can ignore everything and just do what you're doing because you're making a bunch of money. So I'm really only putting thoughts out there for people that might be interested that it might work for, as opposed to telling everybody what to do. So hopefully nobody gets the wrong impression here, because there are 50 different ways to do it. I gotta find one of these Danish trays right here. There we go. All right. There, that one's sold. This one might have gone to a viewer too. Last video, we didn't have quite as many viewer sales. This video, we got quite a few, so $12.95 for that Danish style mini tray. Pretty crazy. Rosewood. Actually, it says repeat buyer, but I don't know. I'm gonna say thank you to Sherry though. Thank you. If you've ever sold board game pieces, you might have come across that one eBay store that sells nothing but board game pieces. They charge a premium. They charge way more than everybody else, and they usually get it because they specialize in it, and they have a lot of people who follow and come right back to them. Frostbite, G.I. Joe. That one sold for $22 plus shipping. We're going to add it to our total. We are now in the profit. Finally, took a while with all that extra expense that we talked about in the last video. $11.63, so $123 up. And we sold an Inaman, and this bin gets slowly lower and lower, but there's still some left. I told you it would go on into the new year, and it has. And Heather bought this HipCat77. I didn't see a message. And by the way, I had somebody ask me the other day, they're like, how come I can't find these on eBay? It's because they're not on eBay. They're on CommonwealthPicker.com. And they're way, way cheaper than this. Heather, thank you so much for your generosity. Right here, the Inaman is headed your way. And whenever we sell these on eBay, we sell them with the stickers and stuff. So thank you for that. And Heather, I hope, I don't know if you have a store or not, but I know you're selling on eBay. I hope he gets things moving for you. You may remember me saying that I was doing some Christmas shopping and buying some stuff for myself from people who dropped their link in a particular post in the Facebook group. And this is one that I bought, and I want to thank, it's Coleman, I believe is the name. But I am a little bit, I'm trying to understand here, and I want to help you out a little bit. You sent this priority mail, and if you look at the other side, it's a retail priority mail sticker on it. So it was not shipped through eBay. So the cost to ship this was over $10. So I hope you didn't do this just to make sure it was in a box for me, because this could have been shipped, well, really it could have been shipped first class, because this thing, you can package these up in the right boxes and get them under a pound, but it's media mail. You could have got shipping for, you know, $6, $7 cheaper. So, but if you did that out of kindness to make sure it was in great shape, there was bubble wrap and everything, I really do appreciate it. But please don't do that for me. Although, how cool is that, yo? Sealed the Breakfast Club. Really am liking that right there. So thank you very much. But y'all, if you are shipping at the post office paying retail prices, whether you have an eBay store or not, you should not be ever. You can ship online, off online platforms, and eBay, of course, you can do that. So thank you though. Sold some Dale Earnhardt vintage seat cushions. By the way, these are not a great item to pick up. I didn't really say that in that video the other day, but because they were so cheap, I bought a box for $5. And because there's 3, if I can find the right one here. Did I get them all? Oh, I already got them all. That's probably why I couldn't find it. Got 3 of them here, and they're all going to go out together. So we're into these for maybe, I don't know, $2 max probably. And they're going to go out all together, all told, for $22 plus shipping. Sold some more Snow Babies. I think this is the right one. Let's do the bunny hop. I think that's right. And that sold for, I'm going to put a picture because I don't want to open it, $12.95 plus shipping. And I'm not, you know, I didn't pay much for these, thank goodness, because they're not great sellers. But that one sold $12.95 plus shipping. Sometimes you just love when you sell the last of a multi-quantity item, and sometimes you hate it. In this case, I kind of like it because these are a pain in the butt to ship. Well, they're not that bad, but they're certainly not as hard, you know, not as easy as those right there. Multi-quantity items to ship. So, and these right here as well. So that's a big factor right there. And those posters are hard to ship too. So anyway, this Farrier hoof file, $14 plus shipping. Now what we're gonna do, I just came back here to put their card on my little bulletin board right here. Just to remind me of that. And I think it's a really good one. But me and Reagan talked about this. She is under the weather today, by the way. Uh-oh. I lost something. I'm going to have to get it. And we're going to auction off her original artwork along with Bluebird's Mama in order to create this right here. This is what we took a picture of and sent over to Tuvakind Custom Designs, Fred and Charlie Designs at gmail.com. And we're going to auction that off. It's got a little pinhole in it because it's been sitting back there. And it's got a little pepper footprint on it. And that was an accident, but it's kind of a added bonus. We're going to auction that off for charity as well. And I'll have to ask Reagan which one she wants that to go to. All right, we had to go to the bullpen. What's the bullpen, Turner?
Well, I have no idea.
You don't know what the baseball? Like baseball, yeah. What's the bullpen?
The thing. You practice pitching in it.
Yeah, it's where the extra pitchers are, so that when things go bad, they got to go get another pitcher out of the bullpen. So Reagan's not feeling very good, so I had to go to the bullpen and get Turner to help out. Any rate, he has a couple of people to thank you for buying stuff out of the CommonwealthPicker.com store. What do you got?
Krista bought a mug and yeah, that's all she bought.
A mug and a sticker.
Yeah,
Trash to Cash sticker.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
John
bought a mug and an enema man.
Mug and an enema man. So we sold 2 of these mugs today. Very cool. Thank you very much for taking Reagan's place today, Turner. We appreciate it. Come over here. I want to show you something. I don't know if I should show you this one, actually. Look what a viewer sent me. What do you think of that? It's a little baby angel smoking cigarettes. What do you think of that? 1984 is the name of that album. They were kind enough. They saw me in a video saying, I found one of these, and I'm like, it's just not even in good enough condition to hang up. And so I'm going to frame that one. It's one of my all-time favorite covers. I absolutely love it. Kind of looks like you, Turner. Are you an angel? No? No? Those green eyes?
No.
Your eyes are blue, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I love that one. Matter of fact, I've got a few other records back here I need to pull out, if I can find them, that we're going to hang up. They're right here. And I have a White Lion one. We're going to put these in the new Supply Hut. Thanks for joining us, bud.
You're welcome.
Oh, wait, you got to say the line.
Oh, yeah.
Not your line, her line. Do you know what her line is?
And don't forget to get your sticker at CommonwealthPicker.com.
Very good, bud. Hey, I decided we would do the ending of the video out here in the Supply Hut because I've been packing Christmas gifts in that eBay cave in there so nobody sees it. So it's a big mess. Any rate, we sold English laundry shirt, some kind of dress shirt. It's been around for a long, long time, $15 plus shipping. I'll put that up here somewhere. Isn't that right, Sophie? Sophie's been following me around because she just does not know what to think of this puppy. And so she stays real close to me, don't you? And we sold a VT Virginia Tech. It's not in here. I just wanted to show you something. Kids vintage jacket. There it is right there. I thought this wasn't the one. This is a new one that we've got that I need to list, an old starter one. And I'm putting the other one up in a picture here. It didn't sell for much. Y'all, this is some fire in here. Cannot wait to get to some of it. It's probably coming up here in the next few weeks. A lot of people asked about that vintage find, and a lot of it's in here. That VT jacket is headed out of here, $18.71 plus shipping on that one. Yeah, check it out. What do you think? We got those super cheap, and I'm like, when I saw them, I'm like, that's exactly where they're gonna go. I absolutely love it. All right, Soph? Thanks again for all your support on all our charity auctions. It's been overwhelming. I have 2 meetings lined up for a couple of the charities that actually I'm going to hand them money. So I can't wait to do that in the coming weeks. You guys are amazing. I can't wait to see you next time.